there, everyone. This is Jackie Van Ham, and I am on an adventure to find the coolest stuff going on in motorcycling. Today, we are in the heart of Milwaukee, and we're going to check out an excellent cafe serving up incredible food and drink to bikers on this episode of Z1R's Downshift. We're in the Walker's Point neighborhood here in Milwaukee, a city that absolutely loves its motorcyclists. And this cafe is a place that every motorcycle enthusiast should visit. This is Fuel Cafe. For 30 years, the Fuel Cafe has been catering to the motorcycle community in Milwaukee. In 2022, Kristen Eitel took over from the original owners of this iconic establishment.
I started working with them in 2001, just in other restaurants, and over time I started taking over all of the operations, and by 2010 I had opened another restaurant with them, Bel Air Cantina. At that point, then I took on all of the operations of Hi-Hat, Garage, Balzac, and Fuel on Center Street. The three of us decided to open this location in 2017, and we've been open here ever since, except for COVID. Just last year, Scott and Leslie retired, and I was fortunate enough to take over the operations and buy them out at that point.
One of the original owners, Scott Johnson, has his hands involved in all things Milwaukee motorcycles, including Mama Tried and Flat Out Friday.
Kristen was our business partner, and so Leslie and I, just getting older. We've been in the business 30 years, so we're just ready to sort of start tiptoeing back towards the door a little bit. And so this brand, Fuel and Bel Air, was some of the things that we were sold off. So we sold to our partner Kristen. We're still great friends. We're still partners on other things. We're huge supporters.
So you're now the current kind of steward of this pretty iconic Milwaukee place, Fuel Cafe, right?
Absolutely, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been a year now where I have had the ownership by myself and my partner, Noe Zamora, our executive chef.
So you can't come to Fuel Cafe and not come back here and see what I'm going to consider also the star of the show, not just the cool motorcycle stuff, but I had to come talk to the chefs back here. Noe, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. I want to talk about one of the new dishes that's been added to the menu relatively recently that has taken off as a huge hit, and this is your famous Chile Kees.
Yes, when we came back from COVID, we tried to bring new dishes, and one of my cooks was eating chilaquiles in the house, and I tried it and they were amazing. I'm like, we need to have it on the menu. We now have it on the menu, and it's been one of the top sellers. Everybody loved it, and I can show you how can we do it.
Awesome. I definitely want to see that. And then we were talking a little bit before off camera before we got started that the recipe for the red sauce anyway comes from someone that used to work here, or
Yes.
So it's a bit of a family recipe.
We tried one time. One of our cooks was making this sauce, and I'm like, let's do it. It's so good. We need to share this experience with all people there, and they've been loving it. So.
Awesome. Well, more importantly, I really want you to share this experience with me in my face. So let's get going on these Chile Kees. What's the first part of this? So some pulled chicken. Okay.
Yeah. And this has the same sauce on that.
Oh, the guajillo is on here again. All right. Let's find. There we go. Thank you so much. Perfect. I cannot wait. I have to get some egg. You gotta make the sauce. And I like that guajillo isn't really spicy.
No.
It's got a little heat. It's not nothing, but it's not super duper. It's gonna knock you on the floor and make you sad. It's all flavor. Stop it. Oh my God.
And as you said it before, it's still crispy, but that is covered in sauce. That's the magic of a good chilaquil. It has to be crispy, but covered in the sauce.
That's fantastic. That's really, really good. And this red sauce is killer. That's amazing. That's amazing. Noe, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And now I've got to work on shoveling this food in my face. So we'll see you guys later. Kristen and Noe take the legacy of the Fuel Cafe seriously and are bringing back some favorites from the original location.
Yeah, so Center Street was mostly just sandwiches just because of the size of the kitchen. We didn't even have a hood at that location.
Okay.
So this is a much bigger operation for us, but we are planning to bring back cheesy tomato, the buttafuoco, which are originals from the original menu in 1993 from Scott and Leslie.
The first thing you notice when you step into the Fuel Cafe is the collection of funky tributes to motorcycles past and present.
It's, we become a tourist destination definitely for the motorcycle enthusiasts that come in from out of town. And I mean, as you can see within the space, we have photographs and trophies and helmets, everything that Scott and Leslie have brought from Center Street down here. It has become more of like a museum for us.
So the motorcycle stuff, I mean, I think I don't know her philosophy. We've never actually spoken about it, but like, I think she's, just kind of letting the community drive like what sort of content and style that the motorcycle related events, what stuff goes up on the walls is going to be. And I think that's awesome.
Just like the menu, the decor is an important part of the Fuel Cafe experience, so changing things up regularly is a priority.
So we just changed out this gallery wall, which was actually a photographer that was at Flat Out Friday and Mama Tried. He approached us after and said that he wanted to put up some of the images that he had taken during Flat Out Friday before Harley 120. And so he came up with 12 images that we have put on the wall of people that he photographed at Flat Out Friday. Our plan is in the future that we're going to change out that gallery wall, maybe like quarterly, just with different images, different art, anything related to motorcycles. I didn't know who was going to be put up on the wall, and Scott ended up on the wall.
Being connected to the motorcycle community means plenty of opportunity for the Fuel Cafe to be jam-packed with bikers from all over the world.
Scott obviously is Mama Tried and Flat Out Friday, so we have the pre-opening party on Thursday nights, which is just insane.
It opened something like that, 2018. And so, yeah, that's been my life. And I've been in the restaurant business, since 93 in Milwaukee. We started doing motorcycle events, Rocker Box, which you're familiar with, a street party that we did in front of Fuel for 10 years.
Yep.
Which kind of was a victim of its own success, but it was, which is great. It was just got too big and just too loud, and that's why we transitioned into wanting to do Mama Tried and Flat Friday. Want to do something indoor and curatable, and that's kind of how that whole idea started.
Like many motorcycle events, sometimes there can be a pretty rowdy crowd.
And it's so much fun. We have probably 500 people that come through here on that evening, and it just gets really crazy. Most of the time we have motorcycles that come through the restaurant, may end up on the bar a time or two and do their burnouts. But it's so much fun. I love being a part of this community.
I love how diplomatic you are about the fact that there may or may not be burnouts on the bar, because there's definitely burnouts on the bar. Just so you know. Being a successful destination in Milwaukee allows for the Fuel Cafe to give back to the city that has embraced it.
So we always try to work with a nonprofit within the area, and it just depends on who we're trying to work with at the time. Sometimes we'll put menu items on the menu, then we give proceeds of that menu item sale. Sometimes it's food item, sometimes it's bar item, sometimes it's even a coffee item.
Okay.
So,
I love that. A little bit of giving back to the community, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely about being part of the community.
The rich history and traditions of the Fuel Cafe have led the way to a future that Kristen and Noe are dedicated to continuing.
We want to see Fuel Cafe continue into the future, and if there's anything we can do to help that, we're always all about it. But Kristen's awesome, and she's just like a really spectacular, driven, just great person. She doesn't have the connection to the motorcycle world like I do, but I'm always there, and there's enough community around this place.
Wow, what a great visit here to Fuel Cafe, a place that has been in the heart of motorcycling here in Milwaukee for years. This is Jackie Van Hammond. We'll see you next time on Z1R's Downshift.